Welcome to the Launch Author Reveal, a talk show where we go between the pages of the book, behind the words, and right into the heart of the author who penned them for the intimate reveal of the book's backstory. Book lovers get great reads and giveaways, and authors get revealed during Q&A. Now, here's the Launch Author Reveal host, Michelle Chudy.
So welcome to the Launch Author Reveal. I am so excited about this reveal today because I have a good friend who is on to tell you about her book today. Her name is Tammi Culmann, and she is the author of Hello is My Friend, and I am so excited to bring this reveal to you because it is powerful. So just wanted to let you all know that we are on live stream. So yay, thank you, Jesus. Okay, so that being said, I want you guys to know that we are going to have you interact via webinar. So if you're signed in via webinar, or if you're signed in on Facebook, post your questions. We're going to be bringing those in so you have a chance to interact with Tammi. But so why are we here? This is the Launch Author Reveal. And what we're doing with this talk show is that we're bringing book lovers into the room with the author. So you have a chance to not only get your hands on great books, you also get a chance to talk to the author. And so we take you not only in between the pages, we take you behind the words, so you find out the heart of the author, which these reveals have been so amazing. So that being said, I just want to give a shout out to everyone that's here in the room, and I am going to get you in a position so you can see Tammi in just a second, but I wanted to share a little bit about her with you. So you know how amazing she actually is. You know, Tammi is a spiritual coach for purposeful living who helps women with a healthier body, you know, their minds, their spirit, you know, their relationship, just all encompassing, you know, their finances and their lifestyles so they can actually cleanse, balance, and build with purpose. And this is way they can actually give God glory by taking care of their vessels. So that being said, Tammi is very accomplished. That's just a small snippet of who this woman actually is. She is an accomplished entrepreneur. She is someone that has basically gone out and seen success every time she touches something. It seems like it prospers, which is amazing. And she also has a heart to bring healing and restoration to women as well. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more so in the reveal. But I want to bring her on and let you all see her and talk to her. So give me 1 second and let me get her in and get her camera working. Okay, there she is. Hey, Tammi.
Good morning, Michelle. How are you?
You know, so you guys know, it's interesting how we're doing this, the Launch Author Reveal. We're doing it live stream, but we're also doing it on Zoom webinar. That way you can come in, you can sign up for the giveaways that we're going, that we put out. And then also it gives us a nice interaction as far as people who like to come outside of Facebook. But either way you want to interact, we're looking at this as an opportunity to leverage technology. So I'm just excited that we're able to get it up and running today. Yes. So let me do something and let me show them how amazing this book is. Y'all look at this book. Tammy's giving away 2 copies of this, by the way. So make sure that if you are watching via Facebook live stream, that you put your name and your email in the comments. That way we know that you want to be put into the drawing for one of these books. So it's called Hello is My Friend, Joy Shines in All Opportunities. And this is just such a sweet cover, but there is power inside of it. So I just want you to know that we're going to be talking about the backstory of this reveal today. And so Tammi, what do you want me to know that I didn't say about your bio? Because again, you were so accomplished. You have had many successful businesses, and now you're an accomplished author. You're getting ready to release a new book. As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about your first one and then, you know, bring you back on later to talk about your second. But what else do you want people to know about you?
Well, Michelle, the bio is perfect for the season that God has me in right now. prior to this particular bio, I also consider myself a professional in the health and wellness industry of over 30 years. So it's really kind of the icing on the cake where God brought me kind of in the back door through fitness and has brought me full circle into spiritual coaching. So it's been quite a journey, but it still is a journey and will always be a journey. But I feel very blessed that I'm where I'm at, because I think if God had started me here, I don't think that it would have gone in the same direction. So
Yeah.
It's very powerful for me to tell the testimony now of how it came all into full circle. And so my background is in health and wellness, but I still preach it and I still love it. That's kind of added feature if you want to add that in there, but that's pretty much, where it started and where it still keeps going.
Well, just so you know, Tammi is not just a health and wellness expert just for like a sidekick type of, experience. This is something that, she is all in. And, she looks at her coaching as well as bringing it all together, spirit, mind, and body. So she lives it out. It's like we actually spent some time together, and she's very serious about, the whole the health piece of it, which is amazing too, because she brings that aspect to her coaching as well. But today we want to talk about her book, her first book, Hello is My Friend. And I want to find out, this sweet cover with a power punch on the inside, what were you want to accomplish when you actually wrote this book? Tell me in your words, what is this book about?
Well, when I first started writing the book, I really didn't know what I was writing about. God had put the Hello is My Friend in front of me way back in 2013, I believe. This was a 3-year writing book. This was not one that happened overnight. So anyway, I had no idea what I was writing about. And it changed. At first, I thought I was writing about, health and wellness. At first, I thought I was writing about being a business entrepreneur, which is in there. I had no idea that the book was going to be impactful and that it was actually part of my healing processes of deep-rooted healing that needed to happen to move on to the next level. I mean, I had no idea that that's where this was going to go. I mean, I was going to be a testimony on just about every level. And it was powerful. I mean, I had to put it down for a long time because I had to let it absorb into my spirit, like what is happening here, and just come to terms with it. So I really had not started out writing it the way that I thought I was going to write it. I wrote it the way God said, you're going to write it and you're going to rewrite it and you're going to rewrite it until it's perfectly where it needs to be. So that's how it all rolled out.
So, okay, let's take people into about this, the summary of the book. Hello is My Friend is the title. And just so you know, it's about perspective. Tammi has taken her life and has literally put life application through a very painful past. Your journey has not been easy by any shape or form. And so when you look at this book and the sweetness of the cover, and it is very sweet, you can see, that joy is coming through on this cover. I look at it, it makes me happy. But I started rereading it again last night. I read it when it first came out, and I forgot how much punch there actually is in the book. So, and what I mean by that is that Tammi takes the journey that she has been on and shows you how she had to shift her perspective in order to overcome some of the things that could have been hindrances to the accomplishments that she has today in her life. And not just, for, the success in business and all that, but success as a human being. She had some deficits to overcome, as we all do. And we're going to get a little bit deeper into that. But Hello is My Friend is so unique because, one, the way that you approach writing it was different. That hello seemed to me to be like a a key for you, that once you realize how powerful a hello actually was, it was a turning point for you to break down walls, to go deeper into relationships. So talk to me about how you came up with that title.
Well, I believe the title was given to me because as a child, I was really a shy child. I thought I was, even though sometimes my report card said I talked a lot. But anyway, which is kind of ironic. But I would watch my dad, who was just amazing at talking to people. He could talk to a shoebox and they would probably talk back. I mean, serious. It was awesome. So as a child, I was just amazed by how he could just start a conversation, and it would actually lead to some really interesting conversations, even if it was 5 seconds. And so as a child, I watched that because I thought, well, how does he do that? How does he talk to people, you know? Because I was petrified of people. I was like, I am not talking to anybody. And so as I grew up, I realized that people don't interact in the same way as you would think. And I thought, well, what if you just said hello? Would that go anywhere? You know, and it does. And it does. Sometimes not in the direction you want it to go in, but sometimes in a good direction. So I learned that that word is powerful, is a very powerful word. And it only takes that word to start a conversation. And you have no idea where that conversation is going to go. Because believe you me, I have had conversations that I was not ready to get into, but I had to readjust it accordingly. But yeah, it's a crazy word. And it's just, wow. I can't even explain it.
Well, that's amazing that you actually realize that, because most people don't have that type of observation skills. So let me just take a second to give a shout out. I see folks that are coming in via webinar and they're posting in chat. So hey, Judy, she's signing in from Virginia. If you guys are watching via webinar, of course, sign in. Let us know where you're coming in from. I want to give you a shout out and ask your questions. Go ahead and put your information in the chat. Let us know what you want to know about the book, what you want to know about Tammi. And I like to see, this is the marketing geek in me, where people are watching from. So that's the cool thing. And now, if you're on Facebook, again, this is the Launch Author Reveal. Welcome to this talk show where we're revealing Tammi Culmann's backstory on Hello is My Friend. Joy shines in all opportunities. So if you want to be placed in her drawing for a book, she's giving away a couple books of this amazing story, just leave your name and email so we can actually get back with you and get you into the drawing for these giveaways. Okay, hey Nancy. Nancy's coming in from Colorado too. So you guys welcome, and do me a favor too. If you are on the webinar, make sure if you are posting a comment that you want everyone to see, change your settings to panelists and all attendees. If not, it will just come to myself. And I will be moderating these for Tammi. So, okay, Hello is My Friend is what we're talking about today, and it's Tammi's first book. She's actually in the process of writing her second. And like she said, this was a journey. It was a 3-year journey, and it was something that it started off one way and it evolved into something else. But what it is, it's a reflection on Tammi's life and how she has actually taken trials and just, you know, circumstances that were for most people debilitating, I think is a good word to say it. You know, you took that and transitioned into a stepping stone to become who you are today. And I find that intriguing because what I am realizing with the Launch Author Reveal is that there has been a pattern thus far with the authors that are coming in, because it comes down to perspective. And it's a powerful perspective. So Tammi, tell us a little bit about your background, and because you talk about how in Hello is My Friend, that hello was an opening for you, that you learned it from your dad, and that he was a conversationalist that, but he wasn't at home. He was introverted. He basically learned how to leverage a hello to open up relationships. It was almost like if that hello was not rendered, then there are lost blessing of opportunity by not extending that hello. So talk to me about that. You know, how do you see hello as that key to get into the next step?
Well, I think that a lot of people are like, introverted or shy or however you want to put it. I mean, I was one of them. I was out there observing. I guess I was more of an observer, and I still am. I do a lot of observing before I take a plunge. I don't just dive in. And if I do dive in, it can be kind of dangerous, because in my book, it kind of tells you times that I did dive in. But I observe, and I think a lot of people do the same, but someone has to take the first step. You have to have the people who start you out and say, okay, it's okay to say hello, or it's okay to experiment with this, before you do anything, because you've got to, you just got to start somewhere. Somebody's got to start the conversation. And so I learned that. It's like, how are you going to get to know people if somebody doesn't start the conversation? And so I think a lot of people shy from that. So what I found is the more I practiced it, the better I got at it. I mean, I seriously had to practice it throughout many years of my life, because I knew that there was going to be times that I'm going to have to use this. And regardless of what I was doing inside, which was like, shaking like a leaf, going, oh my God, I can't do this. As soon as I said anything, it came out of my mouth. It was almost like a calming, like, okay, I got that out of the way. All right, let's try the next one. And so it's baby steps. It's like, if you start there, then you're going to kind of see what the platform looks like. If you don't start at all, you're not going to know anything, and you're going to be in doubt and fear constantly. So I lived in both. If I didn't do it, I was like over here shaking, going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? And then if I did do it, I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do the next one. I can do the next one. And so that's really how it started. That's how I had to start doing it. I had to practice it. And
okay, so I want to talk about the transition to how you got to that point, because your background, as you describe in your book, that you were trying to basically to hide from yourself. You're trying to hide from your family, that you were in a position where you didn't even want to belong to your family on the earlier stage, that there was alcoholism, there was violence, there was, everything to pretend that you're not part of, and you were constantly going from friend to friend, trying to find a way to escape. And then once you got to a different stage in your life, you're constantly running and looking for that next, but it wasn't like you're looking for that opening. You were looking to get smaller. Is that true? Would you say that's true?
I think I hadn't looked at it that way, but that makes total sense. I mean, I was running for many years, and then I was hiding. So I was running and hiding, like Gideon. I'm running and hiding, trying to get away from God, because I thought, what does he want me to do next? I was, going, I've done this, and I didn't want to deal with it. I was accepting the fact that, I'm good right where I'm at, okay. Even though inside of me, I was bigger, but, I was trying to make myself smaller. So I would try to find people who would continually, kind of coincide with the smaller. Like, as long as I was around people that were smaller, I felt okay. I felt comfortable. As soon as I hung out with people that were bigger, I was running again. I was like, oh my gosh, I am not dealing with this. I don't know what they want, but they're big and they're scaring the bejeebies out of me. Because God was pulling me bigger, and I didn't want to go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, for me to hear that out of your mouth and knowing who you are now, it's hard for me to envision someone, a Tammi Culmann that's intimidated, that is trying to basically erase herself and basically, shrink down, because that is not who you are today. So tell me, when did you find that pivotal moment where hello became your friend? When did it dawn on you that you needed to change the running, the hiding? Because you mentioned in your book that you had a college degree, your life was a mess, that you were living in poverty. You actually had some horrible relationships and witnessed some horrific things that most people would never really overcome. So, and Tammi writes about that in her book, and I don't want to disclose everything because I don't want to take the joy of reading away from you and be the spoiler on her story. But, Hello is My Friend is something that's raw. It's real. It is a healing journey, and Tammi is very transparent about how Hello not only opened up the opportunity, but it also took her deeper into a trust relationship with people. It gave her the ability to drill down with a layer of questioning. And it was almost like if you see it as a tree with like the rings, going from the bark on the outside to penetrate to see what's actually on the inside. Each hello and each question took Tammi deeper to the center of the heart of the relationship with the person that she was establishing, the hello with. So when did you transition from being that intimidated person into who you are with that first hello?
I think I really felt the switch over was probably, well, I got saved in 2011, really saved, like baptized saved. And I think that was the beginning of everything when God was going to start revealing more. And my journey was still not where it is now, obviously, but he was beginning the processes. So I would say 2011 was the beginning platform. I'd been through a lot up to that point, but I knew more things were going to come to me. And I would say by 2013 is where I felt like there was this big shift. Like I was saying, we're not doing all that again. You're bigger. And I had to accept bigger. Bigger was a word that was not in my vocabulary, even though I'm tiny. Everybody was, but he said, no, you're bigger with the capital BIG. Not small, but you know what? The thing was, I had to be vulnerable enough to accept what does small look like, and what does small really look like, and is that really what you consider yourself to be? Because he put me in places with people that were really desperate, and I had to look at myself and go, "Wow, I'm not that, am I, Lord?" And so, as I've grown, I've realized that we all start small, but we all grow in a different way depending on how we listen and obedient to the Lord. So I would say 2013 was a big shift. That's when I actually started writing the book.
Wow. Okay, so it tells me that you found your voice then. When you put a pen in hand, you also found your voice. You found the power of hello.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha. Tammi is small. She's small in stature, but boy, is she big in spirit and character. She's not lacking on any of those things just because of her stature. She's very petite. So again, this is Michelle Chudy. I'm doing an author reveal on the Launch Author Reveal show with Tammi Culmann, and we're talking about her backstory on Hello is My Friend. Joy shines in all opportunities. And what's great about this book, it is literally a mind-shifting book because Tammi literally pours her heart out onto paper. And one of the reasons why we're doing this reveal is, one, that we want you to fall in love with Tammi and just, the author behind the words on the paper. So if you're on Facebook, please go and share this. Love the fact that we actually can do this on a webinar, but also live on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook watching this, please, leave your comments if you want to be placed into the giveaway. Tammy's being generous, giving away a couple books. Leave your name and email so we can actually put you into the promotional giveaway, and then also share, leave your comments, leave your questions. So love to actually have that interaction. So Tammi, I want to talk about how you went from a recent find of your voice to where you're at now. So we're talking 5 years of transformation that has been powerful. So tell us how you transitioned from being someone that it was almost like you were a chameleon, that your background put you in a position where, one, you were trying to hide or erase yourself or become something that you weren't, to the point where you actually transitioned to who you truly are, your authentic self. Tell me about that transition in the last 5 years.
Well, in the last 5 years, which was the biggest moment of 5 years of peeling layers one after another. So again, I started in the health and wellness business in fitness. So everything I did was based on body image. And so that was a pivotal moment when God pulled me out of that arena very quickly to move me into another arena. And when he did that, he put me into the pet arena. And I haven't talked about that, but he put me into pet arena. So I had to learn about the love of animals and unconditional. So I had to learn how to be unconditional in my love for others, which I had never been shown that. I didn't even know what that looked like. And so he started with love. I had to learn to love myself to be able to love others. And that was really the beginning point. So that was where I had to go, oh my gosh, I don't need to love myself. Which turns out to be, I didn't even love God. I'm like, that is not a good thing.
That's powerful.
I was like,
that's actually, wow. People don't realize how profound that is. You know, you really have to.
That's just not right. So anyway, I found that journey was a very, very tough journey for me to learn how to love myself. I really didn't get it. I didn't know what that looked like. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know who to do it with. Who was I safe with? So what does God do? He pulls in the animals who can't really talk, but they can show me. And boy, I tell you what, that's in a book all in itself. That's coming down the road about some of the journey I went on with these animals. Anyway, so I became a groomer, a pet groomer, and I learned so much from that. And as I did that, he put me in the home with people who I had to talk to, and I had to interact with, and I had to be real. There was no way that I could put on a facade because I was in front of people. And so that was kind of a beginning point. And then from there, I went and had to do a lot of spiritual cleansing. I was in wildernesses for a long time. He pulled me out of places and people were plucked out of my life. I didn't have anybody for a while where I could even call and say, what do I need to do? Because he was saying, I don't need you to ask anybody. You ask me what you need to do. You've been way too dependent on people, and that's not happening anymore because people were confusing me. They were making things up and they were lying to me, and I didn't know what to do. So I would say that was really the beginning of it, is that I had to spend time with God and learn who he was and understand who I was. And that's a journey. That's a continuous journey. I don't think anybody ever gets to the end of that. We're still always working. But boy, back then it was like aha, like every second was an aha.
Yeah, that's something to be said.
But it was a good one. In fact, this morning,
yeah, people do. I think for them to truly understand who you are as an author and as an individual, they need to understand that your journey has been a process, as it is with most of us. And just like in your book, you wrote, "Hello is your friend." And it's literally, that first entry into the wall. And you had walled yourself in. I mean, and honestly, after what you read and what you've lived through, I can understand that. So, again, we're doing a reveal with Tammi Culmann on Hello is My Friend. So if you're on Facebook, this is the launch author reveal. Please, leave comments. If you want to get on Tammy's drawing, where she's giving away a couple books, leave your name and comment on there. And then, of course, questions from, people within the webinar. Nancy says that she can so relate to your journey that she's on a similar one. So thanks for sharing it with us. So I want to dig a little bit deeper. And Tammi, I hope you don't mind if I do this. Just, I know that you're very transparent, but I want to actually level set for people to know that this isn't just something where you had just a troubled, growing up as far as your home life. You actually saw a boyfriend. He committed suicide in your apartment with your son there. I want you to talk a little bit about that so people understand the journey that you have had and the amount of healing you've had to have in order to get where you are today. So tell us about that toxic attraction that you had and the impact of that relationship.
Yeah, that was powerful. I was, gosh, I was young. I was in my 20s. My son was only, God, he was young. He wasn't even, he might have been a year at that point. He was still in a crib. And I was a single mom. Let me throw that out. So this was all like everything was happening. Yeah, this gentleman was just, I mean, he had I mean, I could see how hurt and broken he was even then, but I was the fixer of everything. You know, I wanted to fix everybody, except for I didn't know how to fix myself. And I could see his brokenness. He was very kind. He was, you know, going through a really tough time with a divorce. He had two beautiful children that he loved. He was a police officer. I mean, he just, you know, he was everything, everything except for he smoked. That was the only thing I was like, you know, back then I must have been real tolerable of that because I let it happen. But he just, you know, he had some issues. I didn't realize how deep these issues went. Like, I seriously did not realize, you know, he, you know, had them so deep that, you know, he was going to do something to himself. And so that evening, it was very traumatic because it just pivoted me to a point of what is happening in my life. This guy and I are having a good time, and Jimmy's in the other room, my son, and, you know, we're out there just chatting, and, you know, I go in the kitchen, and the next thing I know, there's a bang going on, and he shot himself. What's happened, Lord? I didn't say that at the time, but I probably said it inside of me, like, what in the world? I mean, it just happened so quickly that I didn't even have time to process it, so I had to move quickly. And that's what I've learned, is that in my life, when these traumatic things happen, and I mean traumatic, like you can't stand there and question it, you got to make a move. Mm-hmm. You make a move. You don't stand there and swallow, and you just have to go. And luckily, I look back and I think, you know, in my background, I was the one that always did that. I was always the mover, the shaker. Let's go. Let's make a decision. We got to do something. You know, I wasn't one to stand there and like cry or wallow or run from it, even though, you know, I did later. But I had to do something. But that was very, and then I had to tell my family, my parents, and I thought, oh my gosh, they're going to like disown me. They're going to take my kid. I mean, it was awful. It was terrible. But, you know, in all that craziness, I learned that, wow, are people that desperate to take their lives? I mean, was it really that bad? What was so bad, you know? And then I couldn't even go to the funeral because people thought that I was the one that caused it. I mean, it was, I'm like, what just happened here? Nobody, what? You know, I didn't do anything. I was just trying to be a friend of this guy, you know? And so that's what I learned, is that you still, you know, you still have to walk in what you feel is the right thing, even if people are naysayers and say, well, what were you thinking? I don't know. I wasn't. Okay. I just, whatever. And so that's when I felt like, wow, you know, maybe I've got, you know, I can get through this. But I was a little nervous about men after that. You know, I started trusting men too much after that.
Well, I think it's amazing how that you put it in the book, because there's some people that if they live through something like that, they would just want to close that memory down and not even touch it again because it's so painful. I mean, that was something that not only was traumatic, it was tragic. Mm-hmm. And you were scared, obviously, all the way around, just to be in that situation as a young single mom. Your son was there. And then, of course, the fear of losing your child, thinking that you're an unfit mom as, you know, results. So all of that going through your head. So, you know, looking at how hello is your friend and that joy shines in all opportunities. What was the joy in that situation for you? What did you see that trial as being something, how you turned it into an opportunity?
Well, one, that I was still alive and my son was still there, that he didn't come after both of us and do something, you know. Luckily, you know, that was the big thing. It was like, yeah, I mean, I felt bad that this happened, but I also thought, wow, you know, okay, you figure this out, and you got to learn that, you know, you can't just put your hands in somebody. And protecting my son, I mean, I was responsible for that, you know. So luckily both of us were still there, and nothing happened to either one of us. So that was really one of the biggest aha moments, that yeah, or he, you know, because we were still alive.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, in the book, that seems to be the pivotal moment of shifting, of you taking responsibility for, you know, your circumstances. And you can probably answer more so than I just know what I read on the pages and from our conversations. Was that a pivotal moment that kind of shifted you into taking responsibility and changing the direction of your life?
I would say so, yeah, in regards to being a mother and being responsible and saying, you know what, regardless of what you want to do with the situation, being a single mom and whatnot, you are a single mom and you are responsible for your child. So you have to do protecting of this child because no one else is doing it for you. And you know, that was really what it started boiling down to, is that, you know, are you going to trust yourself with this? Or are you just going to let other people try to tell you how to run the show? Because that's what, you know, what's happened in the past is I had to really step up and say, Tammi, you are the mom.
Mm-hmm.
You are the person that took this responsibility, and you are going to take this seriously. So let's go.
That's powerful because,
Yeah.
you know, when I had
Yeah.
my journey in college and had like some really low points along the way, I was basically imploding. I was dealing with my dad being diagnosed with cancer, started, you know, doing things that I shouldn't have been. And it wasn't until I took responsibility and I realized that I couldn't blame anyone else but me for my own mess that things shifted for me. And it sounds like that's the same for you as well.
Yeah, it started the shift. I can't say that it, you know, it was the beginning of where I am today, but it started this shift. And there was a lot more lessons to come after that. You know, I did fall back after that too. I mean, but it just started, I think internally, God planted a seed there. And I just had to start letting it grow, but it didn't grow right away. You know, I knew it was there. And I knew that eventually probably it's going to start really growing, but it was the seeding that started at that moment.
Gotcha. Okay, so we have a question here from Nancy. She wants to know, how has the Lord helped you with your mistrust toward men? Because I can see that there would definitely be a pattern from, you know, lack of a stable home life into, you know, single mom life. And then, you know, obviously witnessing this horrible situation with someone that you were dating. How has the Lord, you know, reconciled that for you? Do you trust men?
I know how to put boundaries up. Let me put it that way. I learned how to set boundaries. I didn't know how to do boundaries before. So the word trust is a very powerful word. I trust that God will lead me through any situation that I come against. So I have to go to him and say, can I trust this person? And if it's a man, I have to ask him. And he's come to me and spoken to me and said, I will let you know who you can and cannot trust.
Very, very wise. Very wise. You know, especially when you have a history.
I don't do it on my own because I will so jack it up. Inside of me, there's still that piece where I have to remind myself of those scars of being hurt because I trusted the wrong men. So yeah, do I do it on my own? Absolutely not.
Great question, Nancy. Thanks for answering that so honestly, Tammi. Again, this is Michelle Chudy. This is the Launch Author Reveal, and this is a backstory with Tammi Culmann on Hello is My Friend. And if you're on Facebook, you know, love to have you guys enter into the giveaway. She's giving away 2 copies, and you know, leave your name and your email, and then of course leave comments, share. Love to actually get the word out about the Launch Author Reveal. This is a chance for you guys to not only get your hands on great reads, you know, for my book lovers that are out there, but also to go behind the words and actually find the heart of the author. That's what this is all about. It's to put, you know, great books into the hands of book lovers, and also for you to meet these fantastic authors. I have the privilege of knowing quite a few. I'm also an author myself, but I have been privy to some pretty fantastic writers and exposed to what they've actually been publishing. So it's a joy to me to bring them to you and not only introduce you to people that have published, but also people that have fantastic stories to tell. Tammi has a powerful, powerful book in Hello is My Friend, and I have an autographed copy. So I treasure this. This is on my bookshelf. And again, I was telling Tammi, I was starting to reread it last night, and I forgot how powerful it actually is. And the summary about this book, you know, is about using hello as not just something that you say. It's not just conversation. It is literally an opportunity opener. It is a key to build relationships and to take you out of a place of woundedness into a place of a relationship where we tend to isolate if we end up in a horrible situation, or maybe we've just been in a position where we've been hurt, you know, and we're tired of it. We can put walls up, and Tammi has found her way out by using the word hello, which she's also taken the 3-year journey to write this book and share her life with you. So very much encourage you to go out and get a copy of this book. And I'm going to share with y'all the link in just a second where you can actually get it. But if you have questions for Tammi, by all means, you know, drop them into the chat or the Q&A so I can, you know, bring these questions to her. The whole point of having the launch author reveal is for you guys to interact and get to the heart of why she wrote what she wrote. So Tammi, as far as like this book, you are obviously not done yet. Your healing is still working itself out. This was a stepping stone. As we all know, we're not done until we're done. And it took me a long time to realize that you know, finally I could be kind of stubborn, but, you know, I realized that even though I had a journey of my own to get through in my own level of dysfunction and healing, I know I'm not done yet, and we're still working that through. Where do you see your next book taking you?
Well, the next book, it's so funny. The title of it came to me in the middle of the night, and God made me get up and write it down, even though I said 3 times I wasn't going to do it. And so he said, no, I need you to get up and I need you to write it down. So I said, okay, Lord, I'll do it. And the title of the book is If God Doesn't Live in a Box, Why Should I? And that was impactful because when I was a little child, I was in a box. People kept putting me in this box, trying to hide me or whatever. And no wonder I had no idea what was going on. But what I've found is that you can't put God in a box. He will surprise you every single time, and he has. So the book is coming out. It's actually in editing mode right now. 2019 is when it's coming out. And it is my 5-year journey from 2013 to now, of God bringing me out of my box, putting me in places, and moving me to the state of Texas after 50 some years in Indiana. And he did it gradually. It's just, the book is crazy how he did it. And it was very sneaky, I had to say. He's very sneaky in that way. I said, really, Lord? And so I am very excited about this book because it really shows God's love and his power, and just how he knows exactly who you are. And even if you don't agree with him, he'll keep showing you and showing you. But don't put him in a box, because it won't come out the same way. So yeah, the book is about the journey. So it's a different book. I loved writing this book. It was so much fun. It took me 3 months to write it. Last one took me 3 years to write it. So that's number 3, seems to be popping up a lot. And same editor. Love the gal that I've got for my editor. She's a beautiful person, knows exactly where I'm going, and it's exciting. I can't wait to get this book out. So much fun.
Well, I'm so glad that you finally came out of your box and didn't stay where, one, you tried to contain yourself, and then also where other people tried to put you, because there's too much awesomeness in you to keep you hidden. And that's the whole part of this reveal, is that letting your light shine and letting people see how amazing you are as an author. And the great thing about Tammi's book, Hello is My Friend, it is in market. You can get your hands on it. I'm going to share where you can actually get a copy of this book. And give me 1 second here. And you actually can see where You can get this. It's available up on Amazon. So if you need the link, it's https://amzn.to/2JYTIHL. So that is the link for you to get your hands on this amazing book. And again, if you're watching live, you can get your name put in for an opportunity. She's giving 2 for free. So all you need to do is, post your name and email, and then we'll get back with the winners. But again, this book is an amazing read. It is powerful. You can get it in print. You can also get it in ebook format. And again, the link is https://amzn.to/2JYTIHL. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there so people know, what this book looks like and how to find it. So Tammi, let me go back to you and see if there's any questions out here, since we're getting close to the end of our time together. Let's see, are there any more questions that you guys have for Tammi that you want to address live? Because I would love to moderate that for you guys and bring this before her to answer, because I love the fact that not only are you getting information about the book, you're getting information about who Tammi is as a person. And I wanted to share something with you, Tammi, because you amaze me. And I know Tammi was one of my coaching clients back in the day. And we actually progressed from that into a friendship. And so client relationship a couple years ago, now she's an author, and had the privilege of bringing her onto this show. I have looked at knowing who I know and the journey that you have been on. If I would have met you without knowing your backstory, I would have looked at your success. I would have looked at your multiple successes as an entrepreneur. She was very successful in the fitness industry, running a gym and various things. She was very successful from appearance's sake, with the money, the actual, material things. Then she transitioned. She has a nonprofit. She's used a lot of her healing to pour out to help others. So that being said, she hasn't just stayed in that place where she could have been shut down. And what I love about you, Tammi, is that your current success is not a reflection of your past. Mm-hmm. And your past was not something that you allowed to trip you up and make you just lay down and just cry yourself until your life was over. I love that you have taken this situation of this journey, and you've chosen to raise your head. Mm-hmm. You set your vision in a different perspective. And I think that's truly the key ingredient to overcoming. It's about perspective. And I just want to commend you on that. So
thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think you're pretty amazing.
Thank you. I think you're pretty amazing too, Michelle.
Oh, you're sweet. It's like, mwah, love. Lots of love, little love fest here. Yeah. Okay, so any questions y'all have for Tammi, please post them into the chat. And again, if you're on Facebook, share this. Want to get the word out about the launch author reveal, but also about Tammi's book, Hello is My Friend. Put your name in and your email so we can reach back to you and let you know if you've won a copy of her book. But again, share. It's all about, sharing the love of reading, sharing the joy of what we're actually putting out there. And of course, if you're an author, I would love to have you on the Launch Author Reveal. We're looking for is authors that have edifying, uplifting, and educational books. If you are interested on being revealed, then go to launchauthorreveal.com and then let me know, how I can help you. So I would love to actually have you on the reveal as well. So Tammi, how can people find you? Where are you out on social media, and how can they, keep up with you?
Well, I have a Facebook page. I can just go directly to my regular Tammi Culmann Facebook page. I'm still working on my business page. LinkedIn, I'm also on that. So those are the two big social media. Instagram, I'm also on Instagram. I'll do that Instagram. I'm still learning different platforms of social media. But those are the main ones. If they really, want to get a hold of me, I would suggest the Facebook would be, and message me if they're not, become friends with me, and then you can chat that way. Because I know a lot of people, kind of shy away from Facebook. But those are really the big things that I work with. So I love, like I said, talking to people. If I could talk to everybody face to face, that would be amazing, because I'm a face to face person. But I know the real world doesn't work that way. But yeah, those would be my suggestions for people.
Okay, good. I wanted people to know where they actually could reach back to you. And of course, any author that is out on market, they're typically on Amazon. I would say like 99.9% of us are actually out there, and most of us have an author page. So all you have to do is search by name, and you can find us and follow. And that's a good way to keep up as well. So if you are, really wanting to keep up with an author and read everything that they put out, because if you're like me, I'm a voracious reader and I get hooked on authors, and I will scarf up anything that they put out. So I will go out and follow them. You can do the same thing with Tammi as well. That way you'll know when her second book is published, and you can actually get your hands on that as well. Mm-hmm. So again, Hello Is My Friend is the book that we're doing the backstory on today, which is currently in market. It's this Power Punch book here, so remember that. Karis was wanting to know who that little girl is. Karis is my little one. So if you guys don't know, I actually have two beautiful daughters, and Karis is my spunky little 5-year-old. And Karis and Tammi bonded. And she wanted to know who this little girl is. Tammi, who is this little girl, Tammi? Is this you?
Yeah. Yep. And that's my little puppies behind me, even though now I've got 3. I had 1 at the time. But yeah, I wanted it to be very light and childlike, because we still need to be childlike even when we get older. Doesn't change the fact. And I had to learn how to be a child again. I had to start over, because no one showed me that. I had to be an adult at a very young age. And you know what? It's great to be able to have that brought back in. And I just love children, and that's why I think I bond with these little ones, because they're so amazing what they bring and the life they bring. So to me, it's like, it's all about, that humility. And I won't, I don't want to be here if it's not going to be humbling to people. So humility is what that really stands for.
Gotcha. Well, I think it's a beautiful reflection of who the Lord has brought you back to, which is the child, the beautiful girl within you that he meant from the very beginning. That's one of the things that I have learned on my journey, is that, even though we go through some trials and tribulation and some horrible things in our life, that was never what God intended for us at all. Sometimes we have to live through things just because of the type of world that we're in, but it was never what God's heart was for our life. And I love how, regardless of how old we are, that the Lord will go back and restore and redeem, what the locusts have eaten. And that's one of the things that I see in this book, is that it's a redemption story. Yes. So do me a favor, if you guys need a little help in shifting your perspective, and you just want to take in a powerful learning journey, get your copy of Hello Is My Friend. This is an amazing, amazing book. And it is something that I would recommend that the people who read it at least be, I'd say probably like preteen would be like, a good read. So I wouldn't say this was necessarily for like the younger children, but definitely preteen, because they're exposed to a lot. And I think this will cause people to shift their thinking and to realize that life truly is a gift, and that you really can find joy in all opportunity. Okay, as we are getting ready to wrap up here, again, this is Michelle Chudy. This is the Launch Author Revealed with Tammi Culmann on Hello Is My Friend. And we've had some great interaction here. So as we're getting ready to wrap here, Tammi, how quickly can you grab your fur babies and show them what those little monsters look like? Are they close by that you can show them how you're pouring out in?
They're in the other room. We're talking 3 loud, crazy.
Okay, we'll leave them alone.
Animals. Yeah, they've been in there. They're in the other side of the room. In fact, there's one just talking. They must have known. But what I have shown you them, yes, they're awesome, but they are mad at they are so mad at me right now.
I heard them. We were laughing because we both have Shih Tzus, and they don't like to be treated like animals. Let's put it that way. But just so you know, Tammi has poured out her love in many ways, as far as on animals, on people. Check her out. She has this amazing, amazing story. She's a gifted writer. And then on top of that, she's a beautiful human being. So, follow her, check out her stuff. She has a nonprofit where she is helping women find hope. She's using every bit of her life and pouring it back out to bless other people. So really encourage you to get a hold of her book, Hello is My Friend. And also just to keep up with Tammi, because she's just an amazing person. Okay, folks, that being said, I just want to say thank you for coming on to the Launch Author Reveal. Again, this is Michelle Chudy. We're here about bringing great books, great authors to our book-loving friends. Spread the word. Tell people about the Launch Author Reveal. We're on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, if you're an author, you want to be revealed, all you have to do is go to launchauthorreveal.com, and we'll get you on as well and let you tell the backstory about what went on between the pages and behind the words, so you can actually share with book lovers too. And again, love the fact that you guys are on via webinar and that you're on via Facebook. And what I want you to know is that every life is beautiful, and it does have a story. And I want you to reveal yours, and I want you to let it shine, because that's what it's all about. So y'all have an awesome day, and I'll see you on Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we are going to have the one and only Dr. Chad Costantino. And I will tell you right now, this is a warning. Do not dial in. Do not do anything unless you want to laugh yourself silly, because Chad is one funny man. And I will tell you that I don't even know if I'm going to be allowed to talk. I think I'm just going to tell you that now. Chad's pretty amazing, and you're going to find how he is going to help you with the treasure map to unlimited joy. So I hope you tune in for that on Thursday. Well, Tammi, thank you for coming on. I've had so much fun doing your reveal. And God bless you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, y'all take care, and I'll see you next time on the Launch Author Reveal. You guys be blessed, and go out and grab Tammi's book, Hello is My Friend. Okay? Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining the Launch Author Reveal with Michelle Chudy. Write a book? Get launched. Head over to launchauthorreveal.com. Every life is a beautiful story. Reveal yours and let it shine.
You could be larger than life.